everybody, I hope you're doing well. I just thought I'd record this video to give you the update on week 2, or rather the session number 2 from the Physio. So, part of the reason why I'm doing this, by the way, is just so first of all I can just document it for myself, and while it's fresh in my mind I know what I need to do. Basically it's part of my homework, which I'll talk about in a moment, and also hopefully it keeps you informed as to what's going on, and then if it's of value to people in the future, that'll be obviously really great to know, because inevitably something or other may well appear in your running journey, and if it's similar to what I've experienced, these tips should hopefully help you to recover. And actually, if you've not experienced these things, these tips will hopefully help you to prevent anything happening in the future. So let's dive into it. First and foremost, just to recap on the homework that I had for last week. The reason why I say homework is because, I work in education, and I really recognise the importance of homework. When somebody gives you something to work on, to practice, it's for your own good and it's for your self-development. And so what I didn't want to do was go from one week to the next and just turn up and say, I'm not really bothered with any of that. I was a serious student, and I was doing my stretches daily, which were the calf stretches, and it was the pendulum, which hopefully I might be able to actually show you in a moment. I know there's not a lot of space in here, but I'm not going to be able to record it outside. And single leg squats, and yeah, that was mainly it. So I worked on those things. I was doing it twice a day, doing it in the morning, doing it in the evening, and doing it for between 10 and 12 reps, which is what I've been advised to do. So I went back today, and just before we get into that side of things, we hopped on the treadmill. And when we go on the treadmill, the theme of today's session was to have a quick kind of once over the legs, just to get a more of a hands-on feel as to what's going on there. And I kind of got the okay that there was nothing that's significant, nothing to worry about. There was a slight discrepancy between right and left leg, but that's just me. And equally, obviously, if both legs were similar, that would be kind of considered normal. So there's a slight discrepancy there, but nothing that's worrying the physio, which is brilliant news. Basically, kind of, if you like, an all clear from that point of view. We hopped on the treadmill, and we started to obviously just run as I normally do. And the one thing we're working on today is just me lifting my heel up more, lifting my foot up more, and just trying to build in kind of more of a cyclical motion. So the way I'm running at the moment off the ground, and I know that I've been doing it, I've mentioned it in a number of videos before about wanting to improve running form, but I just didn't really know, I wasn't in a position, didn't really have somebody there just to say, okay, it should feel like this is the movement you need. And obviously, because you can't see when you're running, even if I was implementing those things, I wouldn't actually know if I was doing it correctly or not. So where my feet are kind of doing this on the as I run along, whether that's on treadmill, and you saw the video hopefully in the previous upload, it's just moving into getting those feet, that's not a great motion, getting my feet to basically come up and move forward, come up and move forward, come up and move forward. So it just builds in this. So we went through 3 20 to 30 second kind of bursts, me practicing it. Obviously the first time it felt quite forced, and then as I moved through to the third time, I was aware I was doing it, but oh man, the video footage afterwards, I had the side by side, and it was just mind-blowing. I could not believe it. This quite simple change, and it's going to take some time for me to get used to really focus on and really implement into my daily running. But I was just more upright, there was a much better form. My legs did not feel uncomfortable doing it, so it's unusual would be the word, because that's not what I've been used to doing. But I think I've just got into some bad habits because I knew no different. And so yeah, it is just building in. And you'll know if you've seen any of those Olympic runners or track runners, their foot is kind of hitting the back, isn't it? Like they're able to flick up and hit the back side, if you like, and that's something that I just thought, well, I'm nowhere close to that. Well, this is now what I'm kind of trying to transition towards, a better form. I'm not going to get to that standard because that's not necessarily applicable for what I'm doing in the immediate future. It's obviously a goal, it's out there, but small baby steps, just taking time with it. So that's what I'm working on first and foremost. That was so incredible to see, and just was overwhelmed with that. And then we got into the movements. So I'm going to just move this camera down here, and hopefully you'll get a better view of what I'm going on and what I'm doing. So, obviously we're in the kitchen here. It's not a great space, not a huge space. What we were working on last week with the single leg squats, which I know you'll be familiar with, and it's probably something that people do. I would say that if you're not doing this already, you should try to implement this into your daily routine. Do 10 to 12 on each leg, morning and night. So my homework from last week was to do that. And what we actually had was the block, so I wasn't going down all the way, and actually this might slip on the floor. So I was just moving down, moving back up. Moving down, moving back up, doing that left and right. Today, when I went in there to Physio, didn't have the block on the chair, straight to this here. So again, that's going to slide slightly on this floor, moving down, moving back up. What you don't want to do is actually sit for too long, but this chair is slightly lower. You can see I've got some work to do. You know, I'm not ashamed to admit that. I've got plenty of work to do. But what I'm now also going to be doing just before I do those is do some crab walks. So I'm using a resistance band, a medium resistant band, and I'm moving, I think it's 3 steps one way, 3 steps back the other way, making sure resistance band stays tight. Again, hopefully I can show you these sorts of things, but I'm just finding it really difficult at the moment with space. I don't live in a home where I've got a spare room to do something like this, but I'll get to it when I can. So kind of like the crab walk, and then 10 to 12 on each leg of a single leg squat. And that's the first thing I'm working on. The second thing I'm working on, I mentioned it last week, so I'm going to have my foot kind of resting against here. Let's say it's the right foot resting against here, and then my left foot is just going to be on here like this, and I stand up just to bring in some stretching in the calf. And like I say, a little bit difficult for me to show you. I might see if I can in a moment. But that's what I'm working on. This block is actually slightly too high. You want one that's probably 2/3 of that size. You don't need to be stretching the calf with that kind of intensity, but as it is, my calves are very tight, so it's no harm done by doing that. So the second thing, and the third thing was the pendulum, which I didn't actually mention in the video, but I kind of overlaid with a little bit of text last week. The pendulum movement, let me show you this. Oh, move you out of the way. So, very simply, standing here like this, and I was, have your hands however you want them, and it's moving forwards, moving back. Moving forward, just trying to keep that line and trying to keep everything steady. So I've been doing that, and then the progression, because actually I've improved, so you're down there. And so the progression of this is as follows. Now I'll be using a foam roller, not this block, but you'll still get the idea. So I'm moving forward, dropping the block down, picking it back up. Then this time, I'm moving it over 45 degrees. Pick it back up. Move it over 45 degrees. Pick it back up. So actually, as it happens, having it as this block instead of the foam roller, I'm going to gain a few inches with the foam roller. Sorry, but yeah, that is the movement. So those are things I'm working on, and why is it important? Why do I mention these things? My philosophy here is, you only get out what you put into it. So sure, I could have turned up and I could have put very little work into it, but what's the point? Instead, I've turned up this week, I've worked hard, I've tried my best. I know that my balance isn't quite there, we'll work on that. I know that I've got some stretches to do, but I'm just fascinated. I'm so excited about this process, and I'm so much enjoyment is coming from turning up and having a professional just be there, just kind of guide me and say, look, this is how you need to work on things. And for him to also be able to recognise that I've made progress, and that's in 1 week. And what's so great about this physio, and I've mentioned it before about people that I've met in this sport and profession. Maybe I've just got lucky because maybe not everybody's like this, but there is not this push to, right, you need to sign up for 20 sessions or else you'll never improve. This philosophy is, well, let's keep going. We've got some good momentum here. I'll see you in a few weeks' time. You keep practicing what you're doing. It's on me, basically. It's on me to make the improvements work and make them happen. It's not on him. He can guide me, he can give me the advice, but unless I implement these things, unless I bother, nothing's going to happen. I'm just going to be paying somebody to tell me the same thing week in, week out. And you'll know what kind of person I'm really committed. I want to improve. I want to do the best I can. I want to be the best runner I can. And actually, I want to prevent further injury. I want to be an efficient runner, and hopefully these simple things can also help you, because we've got a great community on here. I really appreciate all the comments, but I also know we're not all pros. We're all on similar journeys. Some of us slightly more advanced than others, some of us at the beginning of the journey, and if any of this helps you, then that's why these videos are up here. They're there for you, they're there for me as a little reminder. But yeah, I'm really excited. So that's all good. The physio also said if I want to, I can start to increase the distances slightly up to 10k, and because I do want to keep the fitness there, but I've got no reason right now to be pushing up to half marathon distance for the sake of it. It's not going to prove anything. I have got the Guildford 10k, my local race. Is it next weekend? Possibly. No, it's the weekend after. So that's going to be really cool. And yeah, I'm hoping just to be successful with that, complete 10k distance. Last night I had the most amazing run. Sorry, I know this is quite a long video. I had the most amazing run. I went out on a trail-based route. It was flat though, but it was definitely soft on the foot. It had been raining the day, so it was wet, damp, but it was nice. It's a nice cushion. I just ran on feel. I didn't take my GoPro with me. I actually just recorded a few bits for Instagram stories. So if you're on Instagram, if you follow me, the link is down below. You would have seen a little bit of footage of me just messing around out there, which I really enjoyed. And I came in at a pace of averaging, I think, 4:30 per kilometre. The stats are on Strava, if you're interested. Maybe it's 4:40, something like that. Faster time of 4:20 split, slowest time 4:50 split. It was awesome. It gave me such an amazing boost. So things are looking up, things are looking positive, but you only get out what you put into it, and you've got to be willing to make the change and willing to listen to other people's advice, people who know best. And yeah, financially you have to invest, but investing in yourself now is, I think, far more important than investing a huge amount more in the future, were I to cause significant damage. So yeah, that's me, over and out, and I will check in with you very soon. I'm sure next time you see me I'll be out on a run near the weekend, people. Keep it together, and I will chat to you soon. Bye.